Avery family owns a sprawling auto salvage business in Manitowoc County, Wisconsin. But in October 2005, something sinister was found among the wrecked cars: the partially concealed vehicle of a missing person. Teresa Hallbach, a 25-year-old photographer from nearby Calumet County, had vanished without a trace. Detectives attempting to trace her footsteps began where she had left off. Forensic evidence links Stephen to Teresa's murder, but he denied the charges. He even had an alibi. He had spent part of the time in which he was accused of murdering Teresa with his 16-year-old nephew and neighbor, Brendan Dassey. Instead of an alibi, that information turned out to be a promising lead. The Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department had the teenager questioned. He confessed in detail to aiding his uncle Stephen in the rape and murder of Teresa and the mutilation of her corpse.
And we put it on the floor and then he shot her 10 times. And he threw it in the fire.
Stephen stood trial in neighboring Calumet County in March 2007.
At this time, the court will read the verdicts. We, the jury, find the defendant, Stephen A. Avery, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged.
He was sentenced to life behind bars without parole for the first-degree murder of Teresa Hallbach. The following month, his nephew Brendan Dassey, 17 by then, was tried as an adult and sentenced to life imprisonment for murder, rape, and mutilation.
As to count one, we, the jury, find the defendant, Brendan R. Dassey, guilty of first-degree intentional.
But the case proved to be highly controversial. Dassey's confession had played an important role in the convictions, but it also set off a rumble of disturbing questions, which, in the following years, swelled into a roar that was unleashed worldwide through a popular 2015 Netflix series. At trial, Brendan Dassey recanted his confessions, claiming that he was coerced. His defense argued that he had an IQ in the borderline deficiency range, and that psychological testing showed him as highly suggestible, making him extremely likely to following his interrogator's lead, regardless of the truth. Officers repeatedly told Brendan that they knew he had participated in the crime, although they actually had no evidence for such a claim.
We pretty much know everything. That's why we're talking to you again today. What was it?
We have the evidence, Brendan. We just need you to be honest with us. We know, we just need you to tell us.
At one point, an officer told young Brendan they were just there to help him.
Yeah, we're cops. We're investigators and stuff like that, but I'm not right now. My father has a kid your age too. You got more. That's why I like more than come over and give you a hug and then overheard.
And in many instances, the questions appear to have guided and prodded Brendan to provide the answers the investigators wanted to hear.
What else did he do where we know something else was done? Tell us. Or what else did you do? Come on. Something with the head.
That he cut off her hair.
Okay, what else?
What else was done to her head?
That he punched her.
What did he make you do, Brendan?
Cut her.
Cut her where?
On her throat.
What else happens to her in her head?
We know, we just need you to tell us.
That's all I can remember.
All right, I'm just going to come out and ask you. Who shot her in the head?
He did.
Why didn't you tell us that?
So I couldn't think of it.
In the years that followed, the case climbed unsteadily through the courts.
A real-life plot twist. A federal judge overturns the conviction of Brendan Dassey.
But in December 2017, the Seventh Circuit ruled that the confession was valid, and they upheld his conviction. The U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear an appeal. What began as a grisly murder of a photographer has since swollen into a global dialogue on coerced confessions and their aftermaths.